Have you ever felt like you were quietly waiting for something? Not in a passive way, but in that deep, soul-level sense, like you've been preparing for a chapter you couldn't fully name yet? If you're a Taurus, that feeling hasn't been a mistake. It's been a message. And in 2025, that message becomes crystal clear. Because this year, everything changes. Not in a loud, chaotic way, but in a steady, undeniable shift that begins inside of you. The kind of change that makes you say, "I've been waiting for this." For the past few years, life has asked so much of you. You've shown up. You've stayed grounded. You've carried the weight of responsibility with quiet strength. But somewhere along the way, maybe you stopped asking for more. Maybe you told yourself to settle for less. Taurus, this is the year you remember who you are. You remember that stability isn't the opposite of growth. That softness isn't weakness. That your dreams aren't unrealistic, they're sacred blueprints waiting to be built. In this video, we're not just predicting your future. We're aligning with it. We'll explore 5 major themes shaping your journey in 2025, from emotional healing and financial expansion to self-worth, relationships, and vision. But more importantly, I'll show you how to live with those energies, not just watch them pass by in your horoscope. So take a deep breath. Get comfortable. This space is for you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life, because on this channel, astrology isn't just about the stars. It's about the soul behind the story. Let's begin. Now that we've grounded into the energy of what this year brings, let's explore the first doorway opening for Taurus in 2025. And it begins where Taurus feels most at home, in the realm of security, resources, and value. But this year, it's about more than just money. Taurus, your relationship with abundance is evolving. 2025 marks a turning point, not because luck suddenly lands in your lap, but because you've been quietly building the foundation for it all along. You've done the hard work. You've been consistent. You've learned how to make something from nothing. And now, the universe starts to reflect that back to you. With Mercury bringing mental clarity, Venus highlighting your value, and Saturn providing structure, this year is a masterclass in wealth that's earned from within. But here's what's different: you're no longer chasing security from fear. You're creating it from purpose. This means shifting from survival mode, the "I just need to get by" mindset, into stewardship, into ownership, into sovereignty. And that begins by redefining what wealth means to you. Maybe it's not a number in the bank. Maybe it's spaciousness, freedom, the ability to say no, or the peace of knowing you're living in alignment with your values. In 2025, you start asking new questions. Does this opportunity reflect what I truly want? Am I trading too much of myself for too little return? What am I building, and who is it for? And with those questions comes clarity. Not just about money, but about energy. Because how you manage your time, your attention, and your presence, is how you manage your wealth. This is the year to break free from cycles of scarcity, whether inherited from family, culture, or past experiences. Because abundance isn't something you manifest by wishing. It's something you activate through self-respect, boundaries, and long-range vision. So start simple. Take inventory, not just of your budget, but of your beliefs around money. Track what drains you. Honor what fuels you. Say yes to opportunities that stretch you, but don't shake your foundation. Because when Taurus moves from grounded intention, not only do you build wealth, you build a life that's worth sustaining. And now that you've planted the seeds of financial clarity and self-worth, let's talk about something just as valuable: the people you're walking this path with. Because in 2025, your inner circle is shifting. And it's time to ask, who's really aligned with the version of you you're becoming? Taurus, you've always valued loyalty. You're the friend who stays when things get hard. The steady presence. The quiet anchor. But in 2025, you're being asked a different question. Who stays for you? This year, the energy of Venus and the Moon begins to gently, but clearly, filter your relationships. And what you'll notice is this. Not everyone is meant to continue the journey with you. Some connections that once felt comforting may now feel heavy. Conversations that once flowed may now feel forced. And that's not a failure. It's a signal. Because as you grow, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, your circle must grow with you. That doesn't mean cutting people off with judgment. It means letting go with love. Honoring what was, while making room for what's next. In 2025, the people who remain, or arrive, will feel different. They'll see you not just for who you've been, but for who you're becoming. They'll celebrate your growth instead of competing with it. They'll hold space for your softness, your truth, and your transformation. And you'll begin to recognize a new kind of relationship, one that doesn't require you to shrink, perform, or explain yourself. From a soul perspective, these friendships aren't just support systems. They're mirrors. They reflect your self-worth back to you. So be mindful this year. Who energizes you after a conversation, and who leaves you feeling drained? Who truly listens, and who simply waits for their turn to speak? Who believes in your evolution, and who only clings to your history? And just as importantly, are you showing up with the same clarity, honesty, and presence you want to receive? Because the deepest friendships don't just happen. They're created, moment by moment, through mutual care and truth. So here's your invitation. Journal what kind of friendships you're ready to release, and what kind you're ready to call in. Say yes to new communities, even if they feel unfamiliar at first. Practice loving boundaries. Not to punish, but to protect your peace. Because Taurus, your energy is precious. And 2025 reminds you, it's okay to be selective. The right people don't just support your journey, they remind you you're never walking it alone. And as your outer world begins to shift, your inner world is calling too. Because there's a younger version of you, quiet, creative, sensitive, who's still waiting to be heard. In the next chapter, we'll explore how 2025 opens the door to inner child healing, and why returning to joy is one of the bravest things you can do. There's a part of you that the world may have forgotten, but your soul never did. It's the part that used to dream without fear, laugh without apology, express without needing permission. Taurus, in 2025, the universe is gently guiding you back to that part of yourself. Your inner child. And not the wounded version that gets talked about in passing, but the whole one, the imaginative, intuitive, deeply feeling version of you that never stopped existing. Just got quiet. This year, under the emotional influence of Venus and the healing rhythms of the Moon, memories may resurface. Not as triggers, but as invitations. Moments that shaped you. Words that silenced you. Feelings you were told were too much. You're not revisiting them to relive the pain. You're revisiting them to rewrite the narrative. Because you're not that child anymore. Now, you have the power to say, you're safe here. You're allowed to want. You don't have to earn love by being perfect. Inner child healing isn't always loud or dramatic. Often, it's quiet, subtle, hidden in the way you talk to yourself when no one's around. It shows up in moments when you feel guilty for resting, or when you hesitate to celebrate yourself. In 2025, those moments become mirrors. And through them, you begin to reconnect with the joy that was never truly lost, just buried under layers of shoulds and not enough. So how do you begin this healing? Start with simple acts of reconnection. Revisit the music, books, or activities you loved when you were young, not to relive the past, but to reignite wonder. Write a letter to your younger self, the version of you who needed more safety, more gentleness, more freedom. Make space for play, for creativity without outcome, for movement without structure, for being, not just doing. Because Taurus, healing doesn't mean becoming someone new. It means returning home to who you've always been, before the world asked you to forget. And the deeper you go into that softness, that playfulness, that emotional truth, the stronger and more grounded you actually become. This isn't regression. This is resurrection. And your future self is built on the trust you restore with your inner child now. As you begin to reconnect with the joy and innocence within, you'll start to feel a shift in the way you carry yourself. Because when healing takes root, confidence no longer needs to be loud. In the next chapter, we'll explore how 2025 helps you embody self-worth, not just believe in it. And why acting in alignment with your value might be the most powerful decision you'll make this year. There's a quiet kind of confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need applause, or validation, or proof. It simply exists, steady, certain, and deeply rooted. Taurus, this is the version of you that 2025 is helping you embody. Because you've spent years building your self-awareness. You've read the books, done the healing, said the affirmations. But now, it's time to live like someone who believes them. This year, under the influence of Venus, your ruling planet, and the grounding energy of Saturn, you're being invited to align your actions with your self-worth. That means no more playing small. No more saying yes when your body says no. No more staying in spaces that require you to shrink in order to fit. Because when you embody your worth, you no longer beg to be chosen. You choose yourself and let the rest recalibrate. But here's the truth, self-worth isn't just a feeling. It's a practice. It's in the way you structure your day. The way you set your rates. The way you handle conflict. The way you rest without guilt. Every choice becomes a message to your subconscious. This is what I believe I deserve. This is how I allow myself to be treated. This is the standard I hold for myself and those around me. So what does this look like in real life? Maybe you finally raise your rates, not because you're greedy, but because you're clear on your value. Maybe you walk away from a relationship that's no longer aligned, not out of resentment, but out of respect. Maybe you speak up in a space where you used to stay silent, because your voice matters now. Self-worth doesn't always feel comfortable at first. In fact, it may stir up resistance, especially if you were taught that being low maintenance meant being lovable. But Taurus, you are not here to be convenient. You are here to be true. So give yourself permission to take up space. To make bold decisions. To protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. And the more you act in alignment with your value, the less you'll need to prove it. The world will adjust, or fall away. And as your confidence begins to take form, a new question rises to the surface. If I fully trusted myself, what kind of life would I build? In the final chapter, we'll explore how Taurus turns vision into reality in 2025, and why this is the year your dreams stop being distant ideas and start becoming tangible steps. There's a moment, quiet but undeniable, when dreaming becomes decision. When the vision you've been carrying in your heart stops being something someday and starts becoming something now. Taurus, in 2025, you reach that moment. This isn't the year to just hope. It's the year to build. And not from pressure. Not from comparison. But from a deep inner knowing. This is the life I'm meant to live, and I trust myself to create it. With the new moon in Aquarius opening the door at the end of January, you're being handed a powerful invitation to expand your long-term vision. And unlike years past, this time, you're not trying to escape your life. You're designing it, intentionally, from the ground up. Your chart supports this energy beautifully. You're no longer guessing. You're choosing. So how do you bring that vision into reality? You start by turning inward and asking, what does success look like for me, not for the world? Where do I feel most alive? Most aligned? Most free? If I trusted that I'm supported, what would I create without fear? Then you get specific. Because Taurus thrives with form, structure, tangibility. So create a vision board, not just with things, but with feelings. Write down goals, not just outcomes, but intentions behind them. Map out your 1-year path, your 3-year direction, your 5-year dream. And then, anchor it in action. Even the smallest step taken today will ripple forward with power when rooted in clarity. Maybe that means starting the project, applying for the opportunity, saying no to something that isn't in alignment, so you can say yes to what is. Taurus, you are the architect of your future. And 2025 hands you the blueprint, but you hold the tools. So trust your timing. Trust your instincts. Trust that every grounded, intentional move you make this year is building a life that reflects your inner truth. So now that we've explored the 5 core energies shaping your 2025, let's take a moment to zoom out and look at what they're really teaching you. Because this year isn't just about doing more. It's about becoming more of who you truly are. And in the final part of this video, we'll bring it all together, so you can carry this wisdom forward with confidence, grace, and grounded peace. So Taurus, what is this year really about? It's not just about money, though abundance is coming. It's not just about love, though your heart is ready to open again. And it's not just about achieving goals, though your determination will carry you far. 2025 is about becoming whole. It's about remembering that your power doesn't come from how much you do. It comes from how deeply you align. When your outer world begins to reflect your inner truth, that's when peace becomes sustainable. That's when clarity turns into momentum. And that's when your future stops feeling out of reach, because you're already living inside it. The truth is, everything you've been waiting for is already inside you. And this year, you're finally ready to live that truth out loud. So as you move through 2025, remember this. Your value is not up for debate. Your intuition is your compass. And your path will not look like anyone else's, because it's not meant to. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time, and exactly where you need to be. And every step forward, no matter how small, is sacred. So take this message with you. Breathe with it. Sit with it. Let it anchor you when the world feels too fast or your doubt gets too loud. Because you don't need to force your growth. You only need to trust it. If this message resonated with you, if it stirred something in your heart, I invite you to stay on this journey with us. Subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life, where we don't just talk about astrology, we use it to reconnect with what matters most. Leave a comment and share what you're calling in for 2025. What vision are you ready to build? What part of yourself are you finally ready to honor? And above all, remember. You are enough. You are supported. And you are already becoming everything you're meant to be. Take care of your energy. Trust your rhythm. And I'll see you again very soon.